So I just thought, I should tell you that beautiful morning in this place in Vadodara. I don't think I have any. Can you hear me?
One second.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay. So I have no background, as you would know, what Kavita has, in terms of coming from a very aristocratic family, that kind of experience that one would give an arm and leg to have. But let me tell you, a couple of things that she said was very, very thought-provoking, and hopefully I will take it forward. But more importantly, when I was discussing as to how should we progress this this particular session, I was told that there are a lot of students in the gathering as well. So what I'm going to do is that over next 35-40 minutes, I'll be talking a bit more of what media entertainment business is, adding to what Kavita has already said, and hopefully that will be interesting. You might find a bit theoretical at times, but stop me if it looks boring to you, and give you some bit of thoughts that I have in my mind as to how this business is going to be 10 years from now. Well, 10 years is a long time, but let me try and take a shot at that. So this is something which I just came across, that it's the power of imagination that really makes all the difference, and then makes us almost like infinite. And thank you, Kavita. I'm glad that you quoted a lot of examples of good business, good content which belongs to us. So incidentally, the movies that she was referring to, Queen, Kahani, Pyar Ka Panchnama, they're all our movies. But while we talk about that, let's go and really find some basic thoughts of ours when it comes to the business of media. So what's media? When we loosely talk about what's media business, and sorry Pranjal, I'll really bore you to death on this one. But as I said, that there are a lot of younger people here in the audience, so I thought, let me just pick their brain and tell them. At a really basic level, very theoretical level, media is just a simplified way of looking at it's the medium between content and audience. So we create a lot of content, whether it is in the form of movies or newspaper or television channels and so on and so forth, and we connect that to, we bring that to the audience. That's what media is all about. And as Kavita pointed out in some of the examples, it means different things to different people. For some it is entertainment, engagement, information, and a lot of people find emotions. You feel sad about it when you see something which makes you happy. Sometimes you are very angry about it, and it really brings out different things to different people. So if you really look at it, this is what the summary of media is, that we consume newspaper, we watch TV, we do a lot of things on mobile nowadays. In fact, almost everything is done on mobile nowadays. And right from watching movies in theaters to going on to the net, digital is the new buzzword, and music, live entertainment is again another big thing which is happening more and more in India. And gaming is also a big business. It is not yet big in India, but it's a very big business globally. So all of this is part of the activities that you would associate with media. And what? Sometimes you would see that that what is the difference, but clearly the difference is that the same content, say for instance cricket, it is consumed in different ways in different platforms. So you can go to a stadium and watch the match live, or you can watch it on television, you can watch it online, either on net or on mobile, or for that matter you can listen to the commentary, or even go to the the apps which you have nowadays. The same film that we all are aware of, you can go and watch on television, you can go and watch on cinema hall, PPV as it is called, pay-per-view or video on demand, and of course the physical sales are completely declining, but you still have that avenue available to you. And the same newspaper, that how things are transforming, so same physical newspaper that we have today, it's available on web, and there are various apps which are there. The music that we consume, whether it is in the form of television or the physical devices that we run it on or apps that we have, all these are the same content which is consumed in different ways on different platforms. So what, look at, I hope I'm not going to talk a lot of numbers, but this is the global size of the industry. In some cases, the numbers will be here, slightly here and there. This is a McKinsey report. It's not a small industry. Generally people think that it may not be a very big industry. But it's a fairly decent size industry. It's a $1.5 trillion industry globally, and expected to be around 2.1. This global is what I'm talking about. In 5 years from 2013. So this is the report which is available. So 2019 is not yet out. So while this is the global size and the global business, what is it that we have in India? We are, just larger than say a China or a US. We produce, I don't have the exact number, but close to almost 2,000 movies every year. That's the kind of number that we have. It's the second largest TV market, and Kavita also spoke about a $15 billion industry. And more importantly, it is growing at the at the rate which is twice the size of what the global industry is growing at. So as Kavita rightly pointed out, for all the impact that movies have in terms of the mind space, it's a very, very tiny business. As you can see that television is 4 times the size of film business. And you know what? This is the current situation. The way projections are looking like, television is going to become almost like 55% of the overall market. It's a really huge market. In fact, so much so that I'll give you an example. Sometimes you must be wondering, or you should wonder, why do film actors come on television? Think about it. And that will have the answer. But clearly, a couple of areas which are important, right from digital and animation and gaming. These are the ones which are growing faster, and this should be, because that's the medium which is becoming more popular in the form of consumption as we go forward. In fact, just to give you one example, a mature market like UK, the advertisement that we get on television as a medium has become shorter or smaller in terms of the size when you compare that with digital. So digital has actually overtaken the TV market. So that clearly shows that where the market is likely to move in future. And total industry size, Kavita spoke about a couple of percentages here and there, close to about a 1 lakh crore kind of market that we have in India. So when you look at, say, Indian television industry, to be slightly closer home, we have about 27.5 crore homes in this country, 275 million homes that we have in this country. And the number of people who have television in whatever form that you would think of is about 168 million, which clearly means that 40% of homes in this country, they don't even have a basic television set. Now there lies the opportunity today, even for a medium like television, which is being talked about globally, that it's going to be cutting the cord, or those kind of things are being talked about. But fact of the matter is that today in India, 40% homes don't have a basic television set. CNS is cable and satellite, so either you have a cable or a DTH service there. That's about 149 million. And this is pay channel. So the difference between CNS and pay is where you have free dish of DD Direct, where broadcasters like us, we don't get paid. So that's about 82%. And here lies the problem. The one that you see right at the bottom, which is 70, the number that you see, 50% of market is analog. So it's not a digital market, so you don't have addressability. There is a lot of leakage which is there, and we don't get paid for that. Just to give you some quick numbers to rack your brain, we have 60,000 cable operators in this country. 60,000 is not a wrong number. Just imagine the number of people whom we have to deal with. 6,000 MSOs. MSOs are multi-system operators who have many local cable operators, who would be distributed through them. This number is obviously changing. 793 must be the old number. It's about 821 is the registered TV channels that we have. About 187 SD pay channels. These are the ones where you and I pay to the cable or the DTH operator, through which we get some money in return. About 55 broadcasters, pay broadcasters. About 34 HD channels. So HD is the new normal nowadays. And 6 DTH operators. While there are 7 DTH operators, but DD Direct is a free dish channel, so you don't pay for it. So this is all theory. This is all numbers. What's the uniqueness of media business? Is it different from other businesses that we have, or is it similar to it? The other businesses that we have. One big difference is that in this business, you have both. There are producers like us and others who generate content, either ourselves or through Kavita's firm, which is all part of this mix. And there are user-generated content. So you go to YouTube, if there is a video that you have shot, you can actually upload it. Or you can go to a SoundCloud and actually prepare a music of your own, and you can upload it. And as a user who is consuming, you are also generating content. In fact, the amount of video which is just uploaded on YouTube is something which is almost like almost, I don't have the exact number right now because it's almost like changing every month, that close to about 100 hours of video is uploaded every minute. Every minute. That's the kind of data which is there on only YouTube. And just think about it. If you have to sift through that, if you have to find out what is it that that will appeal to you, that clearly shows where the market is likely to have sort of balance from what it is today to what it is going to be tomorrow. The other uniqueness of media entertainment business is that product is not standard. It's not like that this is the cup, or this is the computer that you have, or this is an iPhone that you have. So it's not a standard product. So we do a show called Roadies on MTV, which may cost us a few lakhs or tens of lakhs for one episode, to a Big Boss, which can cost us several crore rupees for just one episode. To which this is the movie that we released, by the way, called Majhi. Just so that this movie was made and nobody was picking it up. And that's where Kavita was pointing out that how marketing has become so much more important in the last 5 years. There are movies which have been made. They might be good movies, but they can't even see the light of the day. And today, people are talking about Majhi. It's because of the marketing that we have done. Otherwise, nobody would have even known about it. Just to take another example that again Kavita quoted, Kahani from Sujay Ghosh. Let me tell you, he had gone to every other studio before he came to us, and he was rejected by everyone. He was rejected by UTV, excuse me. He was rejected by Foxstar, and finally we took the bet. We took the bet. We made Kahani what it is today, right? So marketing is very important. So even for a smaller movie, which you see like a Majhi, to a big one, Bahubali, that people are talking about right now, can cost you like $30–40 million, to make this kind of movie. The issues are here and as follows, which is what Kavita was pointing out, and I'm just alluding to that. It's a decision-making challenge. As a business, should you, when you look at it from a very simple, logical, mathematical perspective, we should be doing more of Majhis, right? We should be doing more of these small budget films where the returns are some 200%, 300%. But the problem is that if you only do those kind of movies, let me assure you, you will not even get a release. Because when you go and talk to a theater owner, he or she is looking for a kind of portfolio of products wherein people are drawn to the theaters because it is a Salman Khan movie or a Shah Rukh Khan movie, and people also get an offering of a movie which is not necessarily about a Majhi, which is say a Pyar Ka Panchnama, but a good content movie also gets a release because of the fact that you have the offering to the theater owners or to the multiplex owners, which comprises of every kind of product which would be available there. So the important point is that how do you take a decision? How many, and in a year that you would choose based on the amount of outlay that you are willing to put. This is a challenge that we continue to grapple with every day, as far as business is concerned. And the important point is that when it comes to content, there are multiple modes of delivery. All of us, still there are, as I showed you in that earlier slide, close to about 2 crore homes who are still running on antenna, the old antenna that we used to have on our rooftop. To cable TV, DTH, online, IPTV. IPTV is, I hope everyone knows about it. It's an internet protocol television, mobile TV, internet TV, and HITS is a new technology. A couple of people have launched. It's called Head End in the Sky. In a manner of speaking, it's a version of cable television. So there are various ways in which you can actually consume the same content, or the same product can be achieved. The other uniqueness of media business is that product can be transformed. And let me give you one example. I hope everyone of you has heard about this game called Angry Bird, right? You know what? It was an online game. Then there was a TV show which was made once it became successful. Movie, a book, an activity park, a box game, which kids would buy and play. With actually, हम लोग बचपन में गुलेल बोलते थे ना. So that's what it is. So once a product works, you can actually go on extending it, elongating it. So that is another uniqueness that you have. And product longevity. Think about it. 1957 movie Mother India. Still people can consume and do consume. A Sholay 40 years from then is still consumed, right? So it's almost like वो chewing gum के जैसा है, खत्म नहीं होता है. So you consume the same product over and over again. It's not like that you have had your coffee or you had your food and it's over. You can't eat it again. You can actually consume the product again and again and again. Whether it is a movie or a song that we have, or let me also tell you, there are television serials which are running for 60 plus years in US, almost since the time the television has really come into being. So that is another uniqueness that we have. And let me tell you, there are very few industries who make money in several different ways, and our industry is one of these. So if you really look at this slide, right from television to a theme park, to books, to movies, to live entertainment, to gaming, mobile version of it, online version of it, Hotstar is another one, which is being talked about right now. This is, by the way, this is the newest from Nickelodeon. It's basically a floating hotel that you have in Miami, completely branded by Nickelodeon. And this is what we do, so once the character becomes popular, you have these toasters, which are SpongeBob toasters. So you sort of, I'm not sure if you have smaller kids at home, we have a tie-up with Colgate, which has got Dora and SpongeBob branded toothpaste. So, there are ways in which you can make money, which goes beyond the traditional way of looking at, say, a television or a movie. Consumer products is another big business, whether it is a teenage, turtles, or there are so many other, other movies of Disney like a Cars or a Planes. They are the ones who make almost 20–25% of money just selling consumer products. So that is how the businesses are evolving over a period of time. So multiple revenue stream. The important point is that it sort of, in a manner of speaking, from finance perspective, de-risks the portfolio that you have. So you don't have only one revenue stream to depend upon. And you know what? There are multiple selling techniques. This is not all. This is just some of it. So we have business with trade as well as with consumers. So both these are spoken about. So there are various ways in which the eyeballs, which means that the rating that you have on television or the number of people who have come to engagement, subscription, territories. So it's only for India, outside India, only Europe. That is how you sort of deal with it. But let me tell you, content is the only one that works. And I'll give you just one example. You know what? iPod, this is the rate that I found out. An 80 GB iPod costs you around 26,000 rupees, 259 pounds or so. But if you have to really buy music from, and if you don't have to buy pirated music, if you have to go to iTunes and then buy it, it will cost you almost 15.8 lakh rupees to fill the music on that iPod. So what is valuable, iPod or the music? And one of the biggest challenges that we have in our business is to take this decision, because it is not pure science. Like Kavita said, how do you decide whether this story will work or not work. Yes, we do a lot of research. Without any doubt, we do a lot of research. But still, at the end of the day, we have gut in our decision making. There is a fair bit of gut. In every business, we have to have some bit of gut. But in our business, we have a bit more of gut than normal that you would have. So that sort of poses another challenge that you would have. And let me tell you, this is an important slide, that I think you should focus on. Product travels despite standard barriers. I don't know, if you were growing up, I was younger. There was a single Latino singer called Ricky Martin, right? Nobody knew, what he sang, but he sounded nice. And I don't know, if anyone has understood what is Kolaveri. Yes, you have read about it in newspaper, but fact of the matter is that despite kids not understanding it, they have been almost going, and then dancing on the tunes of, Kolaveri D. Again, there was this singer called Khalid, and there was a song called Didi, about 20 years back, very, very popular. It has been copied in Hindi as well. To the latest rage, that you have Gangnam Style. I don't know if anyone understands, what it means. But everyone, let me tell you, this is the biggest hit that you have on YouTube. Just on YouTube, with the revenue share that they have got, I mean, his company has got, he has made close to about 40 crore rupees with this song. And let me tell you, this is actually in Korean, but there are, almost 95% people who are non-Koreans who don't even understand one word of it. They are actually watching it. So the product, despite people not able to relate to it, despite not being able to understand the actual meaning of it, it travels, and it travels the boundary. It does not stay confined to the geography that you have produced. So let me just give you a quick glimpse of what is the impact that we have from a media industry point of view. So there is a direct contribution of about 0.8% of GDP, but there is a huge indirect contribution, and indirect contribution comes in the form of people who are faring, the hotel that you are staying, where you are going to do the shooting, or people who are actually doing the arrangement of moving things around. So there is a lot of employment that generates around the media industry. This is just the direct employment of what 0.4 million, which is likely to become 1.3 million. But let me tell you, I don't know, if a lot of people knew about the Pangong Lake before Three Idiots made it popular, right? Today there are, exactly speaking, I'm telling you, there are tours which are organized wherein you are actually taken to these places that here is where the shooting was done, so that you are able to relate to it, live with it, and you are able to know about it because of the fact that it was there in a in a show or in a particular movie. The culture is spreading because of the impact of media, whether in the form of television or whether in the form of movies. So whether it is yoga or food, it's all going abroad, not only staying within the confines of this country. Just to give you one example, as Kavita alluded to as well, just one channel of ours, which is called Colors, that goes to about 145 countries right now, 145 countries. And then there is content syndication that happens beyond that. And she also pointed out that here is where we are actually providing the global platform for talent. So whether there are actors who are coming to India or are actors going to the Hollywood or other places, it's actually offering the platform for the talent here as well as there. And I know one of the lady had pointed out that we make really regressive shows. Let me also tell you, there are a lot of good things which also happen on television. While television is or films are about escapism, you don't need. I mean, let me sort of rephrase what Kavita was trying to say. You don't have to really talk about only boring, gory things every time in life. You have to sometimes escape from reality, right? It feels nice to be in that place. But having said that, there are a lot of shows which have been made wherein, yes, you don't lose the entertainment quotient. It is a show which is about entertainment, but at the same time, you're also trying to convey a certain message, either directly or subtly, which sort of appeals to the audience. So in a manner of speaking, we inspire as a business, aspire, we connect, we influence, we engage, and it goes across boundaries. These are some of our movies, which is Bhag Milkha Bhag, or Mary Kom, or a Queen. I mean, these are the path-breaking movies, that we have. So this is all about today. how do you think is going to be life in 2000? I have just tried to imagine 2025. The way things are happening today, I think every 5 years the generation is changing. But let me try and stick my neck out. I do believe that the kind of storytelling that we have in our in the way our country has functioned, or in the 100 million grossing movies that we today almost like 100 crore is the is the big number. To my mind, 100 crore is not a big number. Even for India, 100 crore is not a big number. So here is what I imagine that it should be, and let me tell you, just give you some some numbers which Kavita was also pointing out. There are movies in Hollywood, they have grossed more than $1 billion. One movie has gone on to do almost 7,000-8,000 crore rupees of business, right? And there are plenty of them. So why can't we have that? I think internet is going to change. It is already changing. I think it is going to not only change, it is going to disrupt everything the way we do today. I mean, look at it. I can tell you, Manjhi before we released, 2 weeks before that, it was leaked on net, right? It just sort of poses. So piracy has gone to a different level altogether. So that is another thing that we believe that is going to come into picture. I don't think television will exactly exist in the way it is today. While I also believe that in India it is not going to happen so soon. As you saw, 40% of people don't even have not even seen a television set in their home or drawing room or whatever they have. But I do. Already Apple CEO has already said, Tim Cook has already said that TV is going to completely change from what it is today, and it will become an app. And to some extent he's right, and that's a big challenge. Let me tell you, I think 10 years from now, there won't be any difference between media, telecom and technology. Can any one of you ask me, whether Google is a technology company or a media company? Can anyone of you say that, Apple is a technology company? Their iTunes, you saw that earlier. The iTunes is poised to make more money than their phone sales. So, this whole thing is, I imagine 5 years from now, certainly, and 10 years, for sure, that things are going to become extremely different from what we see today. And I will just give you one personal example, and then I will leave you with a collage, and then I will close that, close my presentation with that. I have a 8-year-old daughter, and when she was 4.5, that was the time I bought my iPad. And within like a couple of weeks, she said that, let me just try out. You will not believe me, but within 2 weeks, she was downloading apps. And she was 5 at that time, 3 years back. She was actually downloading apps. More than using it, she was actually going, searching, downloading apps. Thankfully, I had not given my credit card. Otherwise, she would have probably, made me bankrupt by that time. So clearly, today's generation, the way they are approaching life, the way they are changing rapidly, they are not afraid of using and experimenting with technology. I think things are going to, become very different very soon as compared to, what we have been used to in past. So, the kind of influence that we have from Bollywood and all that, let me just show you something which, just one second.
Love Bollywood.
I've always loved samosa. That's good.
बसंती इन कुत्तों के सामने मत नाचना।
इश्क बिना क्या मारना यारा।
उसे हंसना भी होगा, उसे रोना भी होगा।
This is not